All right, DJ, PK, and it's time to welcome in Weber State's new football coach, Eric Kjar. Eric, good morning.
Good morning. How are you guys?
We're doing well. We're excited to hear the news that you are leaving Corner Canyon and going to Weber State. And I'm curious, how many times did you come close to leaving, and why did you decide to do it this time?
That's a good question, man. So I've never really been this close like as I was this year. I've explored it a little bit, but not to this extent to where I was really serious about doing it and wanted to do it. So this was kind of the first time really where it became more of a reality for me and what I wanted to do from a career standpoint.
Yeah, it's funny, Eric. I mean, I've had many times people ask me, you think he'll leave? You think he'll leave? I said, well, he's getting closer. And this opportunity comes up. I know you still have a son in high school. I think the other three, the two kids and two boys and daughter are gone and moved on. But at the same time, knowing that, it might not be available, so you got to take it when it is, and here it is. And so with that in mind, as you reviewed all this, essentially, why did you take it?
That exactly right there. This was the time for me, especially with the opening, and where I think the main reason why I was so interested in this job is just how good they are up here, or what I feel like they can be. They've been there before. I think we can get there for sure again. There's good resources up here. There's a lot of people that care about Weber State football. The admin cares about it, and it's important to them. And just being so close to Utah, just the talent in Utah, and really how much it's unrecruited, I think is really a valuable place where I feel like we can get in here and hit Utah hard and bring a lot of good kids and a lot of fun into the program and create some excitement in Utah about Weber State football, where we can, increase attendance and do all those kind of fun things here where we can make it a special place.
You mentioned that Weber State has been good over the years, and obviously when Jay Hill was there, they won or tied for the Big Sky title 4 years in a row and went to the NCAA tournament 5 times in a row, and I think it was 6 or 7 years. So that is a lot of success. And describe your relationship with Jay Hill. How much football do you talk with him? How much can you pick his brain about what he did then and what could be done now?
What he did here was an incredible run, really probably unmatched a little bit in the Big Sky as far as just the consistency, especially from a Weber State standpoint, but even across the conference, really. You look at even the big, the 2 Montana schools that have done so well and have had runs in Eastern Washington and some of those places. Like what he did here the consistency was crazy. And then that's the great part about Coach Hill. I have so much respect for him, but he's open with that. So, I can contact him anytime. We can talk. We can work on things logistically. Also, what the program needs, what he did, what he liked, and then the best part about him too is he's always like, hey, but, with that being said, make it yours, which I think is always an important part. And I said the same thing to coaches when they go, from maybe where I had them at corner and they left and they go do their own thing. I think that's always a critical piece. You have to remember that you are who you are and you want to embrace that a little bit, and it's helped you get to where you're at. So
as I look at the Big Sky, and, I actually out of high school, I spent 2 years at NAU, so I've been following this thing for a long time.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
Yeah, before I went, and then I transferred down to ASU and graduated from there. So, but I've always been a Big Sky guy at heart. At that time, I always thought it's like the purest form, playing for the love of the game and all that stuff. And you look at Weber State compared to some of these other schools, like let's take NAU for an example. The population in Arizona is much bigger than we got here in Utah, and they only have 2 other schools essentially that are playing. So the competition compared to the number of players available isn't as tough. And then you got Montana State, they're the biggest shows in their states, obviously. Eastern Washington, you can argue there's not that much more competition. But then you go Weber State, and wow, we've got 3 just in northern Utah alone, and then we got 2 others down south. So the competition to get guys, in-state guys, is really, really tough. How are you going to be able to crack that? Because you have a rep. I think kids will want to come, but at the same time, I don't think it's going to be easy.
Yeah, I think so. So I think here where there's going to be high-level kids that are going to go to BYU, Utah, or even out of state, right? Like we had them at Corner Canyon. We had a couple high-level kids that are going out of state, like A&M, USC, Cal. Those kids aren't the ones I'm targeting here. It's the kids that I think are getting overlooked. So I think there is that initial line where those kids are going to those places. And then I think there's a ton of kids that are under-recruited below those levels that do fit well at Weber State and these other FCS and G5 FBS programs. Like I think there's a big group here. Utah football's good. And I think there's a ton of kids, I see it every year, that are under-recruited. There's kids I'm already looking at here that since I've been here that I know are under-recruited that we're going to go after hard that I know can play here and help us build something special here. So I think that's really going to be where we'll get into it. We're not going to compete with those other ones, but we're going to get the other kids that I know are damn good football players that'll do a great job here and in our program. That's really the fit. You have to find the right kid, the right character of kid, the kid that loves football, that cares about it and just wants to play ball for what it is. Like you talked about with being in the Big Sky, like that's what's fun about being here, is having those kids that just love what we do and love football and find that niche. It's going to be, an important part, and then just recruit them hard. We got to recruit them hard. We got to pay attention to them. We got to evaluate them well and communicate well with them and know that they're wanted here, and we want to build something special with them and then win games so we can start getting those guys in here all the time and not lose out to other places.
Weber State football coach Eric Kjar joining us here on The Zone. How comfortable are you with the transfer portal, people coming and going? I've heard the expression the Big Sky can be like AAA. You have to expect to lose your best players to the Mountain West or the Big 12 or wherever. But there's also guys in the transfer portal who can help Big Sky schools. How comfortable are you with all of that?
Yeah, good. It's something I'm learning for sure. It's not like I have it down. I don't know that anybody has it down yet, but I think some coaches have really mastered it already in different areas. If you can master it, if there's such a thing, I think it's still a risk. No matter what went as far as like getting into it, as far as like getting kids out of it, controlling the fact of kids getting in, that's really on us as far as building something special here to wanting them to stay. But then you're going to have kids that are going to, come here and kill it, which we want, be, big time players that are first team Big Sky players that are going to get out. Like, and they should, like if that's something that's going to help them and progress them as a person and make them, a better player, but also get compensated on a financial level that we can't do here. I think that's something that I have to embrace at Weber State and understand that's going to be a thing, and maybe even pitch that to kids in some ways that maybe have that potential and be understanding and support them when they do have that happen and be happy for them. I don't think that's something, if you try to fight that, I don't think you're going to win that battle. It's what it is at this point with college and with college football. Like at our level, FCS level, in my opinion, there's coaches that have embraced that and done that really well, and I think that's what we'll have to do here.
What are you going to do about your staff?
Man, that's a great question. I'm working on it right now.
I'm here if you need me, big guy.
I know. You would be the good guy. I was thinking you probably more like offensive line coach. You seem like that guy.
You've probably heard the show driving to work at Corner Canyon. He's never put his fingers in the rubberized pellets. I don't know if O-line to be right.
I just sit up in the stands and criticize you. That's my job.
That is. Hey, that's a fun job, though. That's always.
It is actually.
Yeah,
it's a good one.
Standing on the outside and just taking shots is always nice.
I'm just wondering, have you been besieged by people wanting to be a part of this already?
Yes.
I thought you would.
Yeah, about 800 unread texts on my phone at one point yesterday, and a lot of them were job seekers, which I love. That's how it goes, the hustle of the college football realm and guys hustling and wanting to be a part of things and getting opportunities. I think it's an amazing part of this profession, and you love it, and you love hungry professionals that want to do that kind of stuff, so it's awesome.
Well, when you get to mine among those 800, I wasn't pitching for a job. I just congratulated you and then threw in a little funny line.
I like it. Was it about how Jackie always beats you in pickleball and golf? Was it that?
Hey, don't give up family secrets.
She's an athlete in that group right there for sure.
Her life now is just recess.
I love it for her. I'm so happy for her. It's awesome.
She plays 18 holes of golf. She plays pickleball. She plays 9 more holes of golf. She goes home. She has dinner. That's how that
What
works.
A life.
Yeah,
She picks up dinner on the way home.
She picks up dinner. You're right. She picks up dinner on the way home. That's correct. Sorry about that.
Hey, Ben, you better be careful, PK. She's going to hear that.
I know. What the heck?
That's fine. Right? I'm curious, so when you put this staff together, are you looking for veteran coaches who know college football? Because you know football, but you know at the high school level, and it's different. Are you looking for young coaches on the way up? I mean, the BYU staff, basically, they're in the Big 12 title game. Everybody was in the Big Sky. Kalani was at Southern Utah. A-Rod was at Southern Utah. Jay Hill was obviously at Weber State. Fesi Sataki was at Weber State. I mean, go on and on. So young coaches on the way up, ex-players who might have a little sizzle to their name, as we've seen, like Luther Ellis going to the U. What are you looking for?
So you hit it on the head with that first part, is just getting guys with some college experience that are really good, passionate about what they're doing. But college experience will be critical for me, especially, just first and foremost, just kind of helping and supporting me. And I'm learning a lot of that aspect already. Obviously, the football part, I think, will be the more easier part, but there's so much more to it than that now for me. So that's going to be a big piece, is having guys that can help support and be really good that way. So that's really going to be the critical piece. Then we got to add some young guys too, with a lot of energy that are excited about, getting that opportunity and can build and grow. And, then we'll probably lose them at some point, because hopefully, we do well and we take care of business, and then those guys get other opportunities. But that's going to be a little bit of the model here, where we're at the FCS level and you get some of those good guys when they're young, but then, they end up being Kalani Sataki and Jay Hill and so forth like that, and Fesi. So that's going to happen. And that's, if you're doing it the right way and you're winning, you'll expect that. But you got to get some of those young guys on their way up, just because then you can't pay quite on the level, obviously, here that you can at other levels. So
I was thinking about this, as far as this is a groundbreaking thing here with essentially a high school coach, and you're basically being a standard bearer if they want to do this again. It's like you can go, can a junior college coach make it? Can a 1AA coach, can he step up? You can go all the way back to when it was crazy and people thought, oh my gosh, can a black guy actually coach? That seems so out of date now, as it should be, obviously. But do you feel any level of responsibility in terms of, this doesn't happen very often, to go from where you were to be the head coach of a program, and so there's going to be a lot of eyes on you to see if this works, and if it does work, which I think it will. In fact, I have no doubt, because I believe in you 100%, that others can get this opportunity. I mean, that might be too big of a thing to be thinking about right now, but I'm just wondering what your thoughts are on that.
Yeah, I mean, so I've actually thought about that a little bit, mostly in the sense of what I owe this athletic department here and the administration here. That part is really not lost on me. I think the importance of doing well, working my butt off, putting out a good product, grinding on this job, and putting us at a level where we're going to be really good and successful, because I feel like those guys took a chance on me and gave me a unique opportunity, and I owe them for that. And our athletic director, Tim Crompton's a big part of that. So, and then just like you talked about for high school coaches moving forward, just owning that part for them and trying to put out a great product, and give other guys maybe an opportunity that are really qualified that could do the same thing. But really more so from a Weber State administration standpoint, and Tim Crompton, really that's really where I want to, do a great job and put this thing back on the map and get things rolling. And because of what they did for me and the faith they showed in me, that's a big part of it.
Really good coaches usually have a coaching tree, and I think you can be traced back to Mike Leach, and you threw the ball really well with your Corner Canyon teams with multiple quarterbacks. How much of that do you think will translate to the Big Sky on the surface, it looks like it ought to transfer pretty seamlessly, but maybe there's hurdles in the way of this I don't know about.
Yeah, probably the biggest piece with that is just to continue to be really good at the quarterback position, too. I think that's any, modern-day college football. I think that piece, you have to be really good there. So that's going to be always something we'll try to do really well. And that starts a lot with just being physical up front and being able to run the ball. All our teams that have been the most efficient offensively, we've had good run games with that. And that'll really be our focus. And then, the quarterback aspect's always there where we're throwing the ball. But that really, if you look at what we've done, especially at Corner Canyon, a lot of that came off our run game. And that's why, like, our yards per attempt were always so high and our efficiency was so good from a yardage standpoint. If you look at what we've done in the 9 years there, our attempts are really kind of lower comparatively to the other quarterbacks in the state, pass attempts-wise, but they're high on efficiency and high on YPA, which is yards per attempt. It's so critical to be efficient in that category if you're going to be a good passing team, and that's running the ball. So if you're running the ball well and you can play action and do some things out of that and have some answers for pressure, then you got a chance to be really good in the pass game.
I don't know how many people know your story and, coming out of Wyoming and then coming here to Utah.
What comes out of Wyoming, huh?
Cowboys.
Yeah.
And how you got you got hooked up at Jordan, which is when I first kind of came in contact with Alex Jacobson, who was a childhood buddy of Mike Leach. Now, both, unfortunately, of those guys died way too early. But could you explain how you had an opportunity to learn from Mike, because Mike had family here and contacts here and would come back in the summer, and what you were able to develop based on what you learned from him?
Yeah, so really that was a lot of that was facilitated by Coach Jacobson, because they grew up in Cody, Wyoming together and good friends, and we went down to Lubbock a couple times and were able to meet with his staff and learn some things there. And it was a big piece. Like, I think in this profession, I think you're always doing that. And Leach was a big part of that, and really Coach Jacobson giving me that opportunity, and also an opportunity to coach and learn and grow, and let me coordinate an offense early that ended up being a head coach. But you learn so many things from so many different people, and he was definitely one of them. And then you utilize those things, and that's what good coaches do. They're always trying to learn and progress and get better, and try not to stay the same. And there's different ways to do that, but a lot of it is borrowing from others around you. So that was a big piece of what I've done and learned from.
How much control do you have over the schedule? Because Mickey Mental was let go there, and I'm sure there's a lot of stuff we could dive into. But man, the first thing I dove into was the schedule. You got to play a couple money games, and then the league has you playing the top half of the league and missing 3 of the 4 teams at the bottom. It was stacked against Weber State last year. How much say do you have on that going forward?
I don't know. That's a good question. I haven't even gotten into those talks yet, if I'm being honest. That was tough. I think, one of the things for him last year, they played JMU, who's obviously in the playoff this year, and then Arizona was a top 25 team. And then you're just in the Big Sky, too, which is one of the top conferences in the country, too. So it's tough. And then they had some big injuries. They lost a quarterback. They had another quarterback that was out that, probably not a lot of them knew about. They ended up going with a freshman who played really, really well, who looked really good. So there was just a lot of stuff, and that's football. Like, sometimes you just have to manage that as much as you can. You can't make excuses. You got to get your guys prepared and ready to go, and the schedule be what it may. Those games, I think 2 of them are a little bit much, but sometimes, I think you have to kind of embrace a little bit of that too as an FCS school, just from a budget standpoint and financially.
Did Dina try to match the offer?
No, she was awesome though. She was great when I went in and talked to her about it. That's so funny. Yeah, I like it. But no, that's so funny. It'd be funny, huh? Having a public school in Utah trying to match that.
Dina being the principal. You spent all this time getting that field house, and now it's getting ready, and you won't be there.
So I moved when I moved to Jordan. I worked, and so did Mr. Sherwood. Tom Sherwood worked his butt off. We got that weight room extended. It was awesome. I left right after. And then here we get that field house done, we did one walkthrough as we got ready for St. Francis, and then now I'm out of there too. And the weight room's beautiful in there too. A bunch of racks, brand new equipment, like get stuff set up. So it's and then I bailed. So that's kind of my model, I guess. I try to do that kind of stuff and then get out of there. So
there you go.
It'll be a great place for another coach that hopefully comes in there that has some ties to maybe me and what we've done there, that I would love to see that continue on there and support that for sure. I got a son still in that program that I want to see them do well, and I care a lot about all those kids that are in that program. So.
Well, Eric, we appreciate the time. Congratulations on the new gig, and we are excited to watch this progress. We will probably be bothering you again.
Go Wildcats, man.
I like it. I like it. You guys can bug me anytime. You guys are fun.
All right. Thanks, Eric. We appreciate it.
Yeah, have a good one.
There's Eric Kjar. He was at Corner Canyon, piling up state championships and title game appearances, and now he's making the move to Weber State.